The world was never like this. Once children used to go to school, play in parks, laugh and dream. But then one day, everything changed. News of an unknown virus shook the entire world. Especially in America, a rumor spread that this virus only affected children under 18. The government announced that the virus did not harm children, but any adult who came near them slowly turned into a dangerous, ruthless, and beast-like person. People became terrified. Parents started fearing their own children. This fear defeated love. The government immediately ordered that all children be confined in designated camps where they could be safe. But in reality, these were prisons with no trace of freedom. In one such camp lived a girl, Miriam. Miriam was 17 years old. She had long black hair, deep eyes, and a face that always looked serious. She seemed strong from the outside, but inside she was broken. Her little sister Layla was also in the same camp. The two were each other's support. Life in the camp was torturous. High fences all around, armed guards, surveillance cameras, and strict rules. Children were allowed outside only a few hours a day. No phones, no internet, no meetings with family. Over time, the truth emerged that the children actually did not have any virus. It was all a lie, a political game. But by then, it was too late. Fear had taken root in people's hearts. Even now, freeing the children was considered a crime. Miriam burned inside seeing all this. "We are not prisoners," she often told herself. "We are human." One night, Miriam made a decision. She and Layla would quietly escape from the camp. The decision was not easy. If they were caught, they would be shot immediately. But dying in prison was worse than dying for freedom. The night was dark. The air was cold. The guards' voices were heard from afar. Miriam held Layla's hand tightly. "Don't be afraid," Miriam whispered. "We will succeed." They crawled towards the fence. The barbed wires tore their clothes. Their hands bled, but they did not stop. As soon as they started crossing the fence, suddenly a bright light shone on them. "Stop," a soldier shouted. Miriam pushed Layla immediately. "Run." Both started running. Gunshots rang out. The ground shook. Suddenly a scream echoed. Layla fell to the ground. Miriam looked back. Layla's eyes were open, but there was no life in them. "Layla!" Miriam screamed. But there was no time. More soldiers were coming. Tear-filled, Miriam ran away. That night, Miriam lost her sister, and lost herself. For several days she hid in forests, deserted paths, and abandoned buildings. Hungry, tired, wounded. Eventually she reached near a border checkpoint. She knew if she could hide on a bus, she might cross the country. Silence was at the bus stop. A few old buses were parked. Soldiers were patrolling in the distance. Miriam hid under a bus. Then a voice came. "Hey, what are you doing here?" Miriam was startled. A boy stood in front of her. Dirty clothes, tangled hair, but sharp eyes. "My name is Jeffy," he said quietly, "and you look like you're running away." Miriam said nothing. Jeffy said, "Without a valid ID, you can't cross the border. They will catch you immediately." Miriam already knew this. "Go away from here," he said angrily. "Save your life." She started walking towards the bus stop. Suddenly a police car arrived. "There she is." Miriam ran. Her heart was pounding wildly. She was out of breath. Then Jeffy came back. "Come here." He grabbed Miriam's hand and took her into a narrow alley. Both hid behind walls. The police passed by. After a while, Jeffy smiled. "You're lucky," he said. Miriam looked at him for the first time. "Why did you help me?" she asked. Jeffy shrugged. "Because I'm also running away." He took Miriam to an old community center. The building was run down but lit inside. There were other people too. Ben, Jeffy's older brother, Vicky, his sister, Seth, a friend, Crystal, Seth's girlfriend. They all looked shocked to see Miriam. "Who is she?" Ben asked sternly. "A problem," Vicky said. "She'll get us caught." Miriam remained silent. Then she slowly opened her bag. Inside was an old map. "This is a map of an underground tunnel," Miriam said. "It can get us across the border." Silence fell over the room. A spark of hope appeared in everyone's eyes. But at that moment, the police radio crackled. 2 runaway children were last seen heading toward the community center. Everyone's faces went pale. Ben said, "We must leave immediately." They all started packing. Outside, the night was getting darker. Darkness surrounded them. Slowly, one by one, the children began to wake up. Their heads were heavy. Their bodies felt weak. It was as if their strength had been drained from them. Jeffy opened his eyes first. He tried to move his arms, but metal chains stopped him. He was lying on a dusty wooden floor. Around him were Ben, Vicky, and Crystal. All of them were locked inside a small, dark attic. Panic spread instantly. "Where are we?" Vicky whispered. "Why can't I move?" Ben tried to break the chains, but they were too strong. The windows were small and covered with metal bars. Escape was impossible. Meanwhile, Mary woke up in a completely different place. She was lying on a soft bed in a clean pink room. Toys, dolls, and drawings covered the walls. It looked like a child's bedroom frozen in time. Sunlight came through the curtains. Mary sat up slowly. Her heart started beating faster. This was not the attic. This was not safety. The door opened quietly. Clara walked in, smiling. "Good morning, my dear," she said gently. Mary felt uncomfortable. "Where are my friends?" she asked. Clara's smile faded for a moment. "They left," Clara replied softly. "They were scared. They ran away and left you behind." Mary's heart broke. "No, they wouldn't do that," she whispered. Clara sat beside her and brushed Mary's hair. "They didn't deserve you," she said, "but it's okay. You're safe with me now." She placed shiny earrings in Mary's hands. "They belong to my daughter. You look just like her." Mary froze. She understood something was wrong. Very wrong. Down in the basement, Seth slowly regained consciousness. Cold water dripped on his face. He realized he was standing inside a shower, wearing almost nothing. His hands were tied. The walls were covered with rust and stains. "Hello?" he shouted. No answer. Suddenly the lights turned off. Darkness filled the room. He heard breathing. Not human breathing. Something deep, slow, hungry. Before he could scream, something jumped from the shadows. His screams echoed through the basement, but no one heard him. Back in the attic, Jeffy was losing his patience. "We need to get out," he said angrily. "This woman is crazy." Crystal started crying. "She seemed so nice," she sobbed. "I trusted her." Through a small crack in the window, Vicky saw a police car arrive. An officer stepped out. It was Officer Fitz. He was an old friend of Clara. Hope filled their eyes. "He can save us," Jeffy whispered. Jeffy started banging the metal bars. "Help, we're trapped." Outside, Clara quickly opened the door and greeted Fitz warmly. She smiled. She laughed. She lied. "No children here. You must be mistaken." Fitz looked suspicious, but he trusted her. He left. Inside the attic, Jeffy fell to the floor in anger. They had lost their chance. Soon, Clara came upstairs with a rifle in her hands. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were cold. "Did you try to call for help?" she asked. No one answered. She smiled slowly. Bad children must be punished. She forced them one by one into a bathroom and washed them like hospital patients. Their dirty clothes were removed. They were dressed in white uniforms, like prisoners, like patients, like victims. The next morning, Clara took Mary to her greenhouse. Flowers surrounded them. Sunlight shone. It looked peaceful. Mary secretly picked up a small shovel. She raised it. Her hands were shaking. This was her chance. She could kill Clara. She could save her friends. But then Clara started crying. "My husband died," she said softly. "My daughter died. I'm all alone." Mary hesitated. Her heart softened. She dropped the shovel. Back in the attic, Ben and Jeffy managed to loosen one wooden board. Slowly, carefully, they created a small hole. Vicky volunteered to crawl through. She entered the house secretly. While exploring, she found a hidden room. Inside was a memorial. Photos. Candles. A coffin. Clara's husband was dead. But Clara had said he was working. It was a lie. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Vicky hid. Mary was returning with Clara. Mary saw Vicky through a window. Their eyes met. Mary understood. Clara was lying. She was dangerous. Mary pretended to drop a basket of vegetables. While Clara cleaned the mess, Vicky escaped back to the attic. That night, Crystal begged Clara, "Please, let me see Seth," she cried. Clara smiled. Of course. The others tried to stop her. "Don't go," Jeffy warned. Crystal ignored them. Clara took her to the basement, locked her in the shower. Lights, and left. Screams followed. Then silence. Vicky decided to act. She sneaked out again and tried to set fire to the greenhouse to distract Clara. Flames rose, but Clara caught her. Her face changed. No more kindness, only rage. She dragged Vicky back upstairs. In the attic, Clara placed a shock collar around Jeffy's neck. "Tell me how she escaped," Clara demanded. Jeffy refused. Clara pressed a button. Electricity shocked his body. He screamed. Vicky couldn't take it. She confessed. Clara smiled. Vicky removed the collar from Jeffy and put it on herself to save her brother. Clara forced Mary to press the button. Mary cried. "I can't." Clara pressed it herself. Vicky screamed in pain. That night Mary decided, no more fear, no more waiting. She sneaked out and stole Clara's sleeping pills. On her way back, she saw Clara talking to an empty wall, whispering, laughing, as if someone invisible was standing there. Mary felt cold. The next morning, Mary mixed the pills into Clara's tea. Clara drank it. She smiled. "I talked to my husband last night," she said. "He says you should stay with me forever." Her eyes were full of madness. Seconds later, she collapsed. Mary ran. She took the keys. She freed her friends. Hope returned. But it was not over. Not yet. The worst secret was still waiting. Mary's hands were shaking as she unlocked the attic door. One by one, the children stepped out into the hallway. For the first time since entering Clara's house, they were free. Their hearts were beating fast. Every sound felt dangerous. "We have to leave now," Ben whispered. They rushed downstairs. Mary ran to the backyard and pulled open the small shed. Inside stood Clara's old car. She threw the keys into the ignition and turned them. Nothing happened. The engine refused to start. Panic returned. "Come on, please," Mary whispered. Behind them, a door slammed. Clara was awake. She stood at the entrance with a rifle in her hands. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were burning with madness. "You were going to leave me," she said slowly, "just like everyone else." Before anyone could move, she raised the gun. "Back upstairs, now." Terrified, the children obeyed. She forced them back into the attic and locked the door again. Then she grabbed Mary's arm and dragged her down the stairs. "You're mine," Clara whispered. She threw Mary into the basement. The same dark room, the same shower, the same smell of death. Clara turned on the water. Cold water hit Mary's face. "Be good," Clara said. Then she left. Mary cried. She banged on the door. No one answered. Above, something was moving in the darkness. Heavy footsteps. Slow breathing. A shadow appeared. Mary looked up and screamed. In front of her stood a tall, broken creature. Its skin was gray, its eyes were empty, its mouth was covered in blood. It was Clara's husband, but no longer human. He was a monster, a zombie. Mary realized the truth. Clara had been hiding her infected husband in the basement. She was feeding him people. Children, runaways. Her house. The monster stepped closer. Drool fell from its mouth. Mary searched desperately. Her hand touched a metal pipe. She grabbed it and hit the creature. It roared. She ran, through narrow tunnels, through broken walls. She escaped into another room. At the same time, upstairs, Officer Fitz returned. He had found something in a trash bin. Human remains, bones, blood. He knew Clara was lying. He kicked the door open. "Clara," he shouted. She turned and shot him. He fell to the ground, bleeding. "You were supposed to protect me," she cried. She ran to the basement stairs. She knelt beside her husband's cage. "My love, I brought you food," she whispered. Mary appeared behind her. She held a long knitting needle. Without thinking, she stabbed Clara in the neck. Clara gasped, widened. She collapsed beside her husband, dead. Mary ran upstairs. "Let's go," she shouted. Jeffy broke the lock. They escaped. They ran to the car. This time, Jeffy opened the hood and fixed the engine quickly. It started. Hope returned. But then, a roar echoed. The monster had escaped. It charged at them. It grabbed Jeffy and bit his arm. Jeffy screamed. Ben jumped out of the car. Even though he was weak and wounded, he punched the creature. "Get away from my brother," he shouted. They fought. Blood covered the ground. Vicky ran back into the house and grabbed Clara's rifle. She aimed. Her hands were shaking. She fired. The bullet hit the monster's head. It fell, silent, dead. Everyone stood frozen. It was over, but the price was high. Ben collapsed. Blood. Mary held him. "Stay with us," she cried. Ben smiled weakly. "Take care of each other," he whispered. Then his eyes closed. He died. Jeffy screamed. Vicky cried. They had lost their brother. As they mourned, Vicky felt dizzy. Her arm hurt. She looked down. A bite mark. The monster had infected her. She understood. Her fate was sealed. She hid her pain. She didn't want to scare her friends. Police sirens approached in the distance. More officers were coming. They had to leave. Mary drove. Jeffy sat silently. Vicky stared out of the window. Ben's jacket lay in the back seat. Empty. The road stretched endlessly before them. They had escaped Clara. They had escaped death. But they had not escaped loss. They had lost Seth. They had lost Crystal. They had lost Ben. Their childhood. Still, they were alive. And they were free. Mary looked at the horizon. For the first time, she felt something new. Not fear, not anger, but hope. Even in a broken world, even after so much pain, they would keep moving. They would survive. They would build a new life, together.